Welcome everyone to Wind, Reel, and Print. This is your co-host Kevin.
I was expecting to say captain. This is your captain speaking.
Buckle up and put your hands and feet inside the ride.
Yep. This is Ryan, the other co-captain, skipper. Skipper isn't Skipper the captain?
I have no idea.
Who's Gilligan? What does Gilligan do?
The island?
Yeah, on Gilligan's Island, yes. But Gilligan's role,
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm that.
Yeah.
I'm the.
You're the
we'll say
first
skipper.
What is it?
First mate?
First mate?
Yep.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm the first mate to this intro, and now I've hogged it all.
We're on the ship SS Film Noir.
Film Noir?
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about film genre, going back into film history, talking about 5 films: Double Indemnity from Billy Wilder, The Maltese Falcon from some guy I don't know off the top of my head, John Huston. Oh God, that's insulting.
Of course.
Sunset Boulevard, also by Billy Wilder. Third Man by Carol Reed, and then Notorious by Alfred Hitchcock. And I chose a lot of these films as a way to kind of explore the influences of noir. And like, I guess these are kind of, at least the first 4 are like definitive film noir movies that like people kind of point to as like this era of filmmaking. And then I also chose Notorious as something to kind of like, as Ryan says, cut against in terms of like,
That's what I say.
What film noir is and what it isn't, so to speak. So I do want to intro kind of before we talk about these films, like what film noir is from a historical standpoint and an aesthetic standpoint, because we love learning things here.
I'm not going to deny that.
And so to put it in the context of a previous episode that we've had, film noir is directly influenced by German Expressionism in a lot of ways, like from an aesthetic point, very clear, you know, the lighting and then the look of it, and also thematically, like what it's saying about society, I think is very similar to what German Expressionism is doing. But also from like, just like industry standpoint, like because people are moving to America, they're bringing a lot of these ideas with them.
Yeah, literally the workers are coming with the knowledge of how to make it. Yeah.
And so it's beyond just like the style of filmmaking. It is actually like the people
process.
Yeah, like bringing a lot of these things into it. And then also to add context of American history, film noir, like Westerns, are influenced by literature and like novels of the time, like crime fiction and what they call hardboiled literature, especially during the Great Depression, the 30s. Like a lot of these books are kind of like dealing with the angst and struggle of that time period. And so film noir is like birthed out of that, because they're coming out in the 40s and 50s, and a lot of these stories are like reflecting similar things as like crime fiction and a lot of that stuff. And then so to get into the aesthetics of it, which feel pretty clear, right? Like the black and white, the light, the strong like contrasty lighting. But there's also these what they call archetypical characters within film noir. Wikipedia summarizes them as a private investigator, plainclothes police officer, aging boxer, a hapless grifter, law-abiding citizen lured into the life of crime, and then like a femme fatale sort of character. And so I feel like these are good things to kind of keep in mind when we discuss these films and like who these characters are and like how they sit within the film noir genre.
Yeah, I think this might be if you can look back at the movies we've seen, and are there any movies that you're like, okay, that's a film noir? There's one that pops in my head.
Sweet Smell of Success.
Sweet Smell of Success. That's a good one. Rocco and His Brothers.
Yeah. Okay. So here on the list of influences, Italian neorealism
There
is
you
listed
go.
on here.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I feel that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that connection. Yeah.
Yeah,
that you're saying.
That just popped in my head when you said the boxer angle.
Right.
I was like,
True,
oh yeah,
true.
there's like this being pulled into crime and grime and stuff, right?
That totally,
yeah.
And that makes sense, like from a like historical standpoint too, because a lot of these things, Italian neorealism and German expressionism, are kind of coming up around the same time, like post-war Europe.
Yeah.
So and
That's such a good point. Yeah.
you know, and so it makes sense that these are influencing a lot of these films at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
because I do think Rocco and his brother comes out like later than a lot of these movies.
Definitely, it's in the 50s, right?
Yeah, in the 50s, and a lot of these are in the 40s. So
Yeah.
it's weird how like all these things are influencing each other, but also happening at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So this definitely, these movies set the groundwork for a lot of those
for sure.
those films. Yeah.
For sure. And so one thing I'd like to point out too is like the influence of Billy Wilder on this genre. I think he's such a big name, and that's why I included him twice, is because he's kind of setting the standard of like what this genre can do. And I think he's like an elevated film noir sort of character, you know? Because his films feel like they're, what's it called? What's that word? Transcending, like what the genre is.
Totally.
You know?
I mean, like Double Indemnity does the genre perfectly.
Yeah.
To a T. It has a little bit of a different kind of character, an insurance salesman. You know, you kind of, you expect John Huston really like figures out what the genre is with this another
Maltese
like
Falcon,
hard-boiled and Maltese Falcon, like investigator, private investigator,
right? Like
and
classically,
and then you take that and you kind of switch it up a little bit, and that's Double Indemnity, and then you get Sunset Boulevard, which just totally different. And I mean, like I've told Kevin this multiple times, but I am willing to hear the argument that it's the best movie ever made.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It does everything right.
For sure.
It takes a genre and twists it, and so many memorable moments, and I'm very excited to talk about that. But
yeah.
Billy Wilder, I never really knew the guy. And now I'm like, he is.
I want more.
top tier, unbelievable. I can't wait to do more of a Billy Wilder episode. He's a very interesting guy.
Yeah. Apartment is like one of my favorite movies
it really
of all time.
It blew my mind when I saw that.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about it before, but that movie especially just is willing to go places that you never thought was possible.
Yeah.
In a movie of that time and everything like that. So
it's doing so
and
much.
I've talked a lot about Ace in the Hole too. And that's
another
got a
great,
film noir thing going on too. So
The Journalist.
Yeah, really good.
Sleazeball characters.
Yeah. Getting pulled into something like this kind of like whirlpool of crime and plot, and you just can't escape out of it, and it just like it ruins everything. It soaks you in it. Yeah.
And then because we were talking about like Coen brothers and stuff, The Third Man is super, they quote that as like the movie they watch before they make every movie. And how much you can see that film in their own work and stuff. Because they're I feel like they're a resounding figure of like noir today, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of holding that genre up.
They really are. Once you like have some film history knowledge and you start to like see the connections, like, oh wow, every one of their movies
is noir.
Is a film noir movie.
Even Lebowski you know.
Hail Caesar, speaking about kind of a more recent one.
Sure.
No Country for Old Men, obviously.
Right.
They did like a very obvious. I think it's called The Man Who Knew Too Much, or it's one of Billy Bob Thornton.
You're right.
But black and white, obvious film noir.
I don't know if I've seen this one. Yeah,
it's been a while since I've seen it, but maybe it's not. Man Who Knew Too Much. Oh man, what is it? But yeah, definitely in their work. Yeah, they are obsessed with that genre. Yeah, because it does like encapsulate American like mode or moods and like kind of whatever.
I think.
Yeah, they know America really. Oh, Brother Art Thou, another really good.
Totally.
Yeah. Also, before I forget, the man who wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
That's what the film is called.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they hold up that genre now pretty well.
Yeah. Like, because Fargo.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Even.
It just never ends.
Yeah.
Raising Arizona.
It's a little kooky.
Yeah, a little kooky.
But it does have that, like, spirit, I would say.
Yeah. It's very, I think people say it's a screwball comedy, and you
totally
definitely,
screwball,
you absolutely feel that.
Well, that's something else in this Wikipedia thing of, like, how screwball and film noir are occurring at the same time, and how they're kind of similar, but, like, almost opposite. They say that they have like an analogous relationship, and you can kind of see that they're both like dialogue oriented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then have like very specific characters within each thing. Yeah, it's like interesting thing.
It's so interesting to go from German Expressionism, which isn't very dialogue.
Right. It's
focused,
very visual.
Very visual.
Yeah.
And then film noir, very dialogue heavy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like over explaining itself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just so like, I mean, you can't even stop listening for a second because it is just, it
endless.
Is nonstop.
Yeah. So much information.
Oh, that's interesting. They kind of went, and I mean, that's natural. We're getting into talkies and things like that. And
right.
And German Expressionism started before there was sound.
A lot of them were
but
sound,
thinking about M, which is the obvious
right.
connective tissue here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely was some talking and things like that, and eventually it gets like the talking is the action,
right? But definitely compared to Maltese Falcon, which is like overtly dialogue.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Has very little like visual elements.
Yeah.
I feel like to it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our intro.
Yeah.
Was there anything you wanted to start off with?
No, I think the interesting thing is that we usually pick 4.
Right.
This time we picked 5. And so Notorious being kind of the one that was like the other 4 are like very clear. Notorious being a different one, but still holds its own. And I think we will talk. I definitely know we will talk more about Alfred Hitchcock at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's good to have him here.
There's an episode
I'm happy
there.
to keep him included for the time.
Because I think he's just an interesting thing. Because maybe we will start with Notorious because that's just like the easiest thing to do. Because it's like, I feel like it's a good way to define film noir by saying what it isn't, you know? And I think Hitchcock, you think of his films and like even his influence on the horror genre too, you know?
Yeah.
It's like he's obviously operating in this space of suspense and thriller, you know, that like film noir is kind of like tinkering with. But when a lot of people will argue that like Notorious is not a film noir for different reasons. But it is interesting, like you can kind of see it like tonally he's making a different thing, even though it's like operating with the same pieces and like it looks the same, it sounds the same, but it's like it feels completely different in a lot of ways.
Yeah, there is just something about it being about a Hitchcock film versus a film noir film. And maybe it is like, I'd be curious. I need to read up more on like what, do you know off the top of your head, like what people really find are like the obvious, like this is the reason this is not a film noir?
Yeah, I think it's listed somewhere in here.
Yeah.
I'll look.
Yeah. Because I definitely know what you mean. It feels more like a thriller than it does and I think that's the Hitchcock way, more than this kind of like hard-boiled, stark contrast. You know, people. Man, I feel like I'm going to say a lot of things, and I'm going to be like, "Oh, I don't know."
Even true.
Yeah, exactly. I guess just while I'm here, I'm just going to read the synopsis of Notorious.
Sure, yeah, go for it.
In order to help bring Nazis to justice, U.S. government agent T.R. Devlin played by the only Cary Grant, who we all know and love. I can't wait to get to our Screwball episode because he's. I just love the guy. I'm now
amazing.
I think yeah. T.R. Devlin recruits Alicia Huberman, played by the magnanimous. Is that the right word for it? Ingrid Bergman, who we love as well.
I love that.
Yep. An American daughter of a convicted German war criminal as a spy as they begin to fall for one another, which is also like a very film noir thing. You've got like kind of a femme fatale sort of character sometimes,
Just
usually,
like love story
but there
thing.
is there is like that sexual like pull that kind of being in these situations, like you're all I've got,
Right.
sort of thing that kind of drives people together. It's great for that sort of thing.
Right.
And then just to finish it off here, fall for one another. Alicia is instructed to win the affection of Alexander Sebastian, a Nazi hiding out in Brazil. When Sebastian becomes serious about his relationship with Alicia, the stakes get higher, and Devlin must watch her slip further undercover. And I'll also mention that the Nazi, Alexander Sebastian, is played by Claude Rains, who was in Casablanca, who was the French police officer in that. He's also in Lawrence of Arabia, though I don't remember what he's in that. But we also watched Casablanca recently, or that will be a future episode as well. So he is firmly in my mind. I really like his acting.
Yeah, he's great.
He's really good. So yeah, that's kind of Notorious. Definitely, you can imagine the film noir aspect of it.
Yeah.
Do you think film noir has to be nihilistic?
I think there's definitely this idea of questioning morality and questioning like the pillars of society, so to speak. Because you look at what institutions film noir is kind of critiquing, so to say, and you kind of have to have a nihilistic approach, I feel like, when you're having a lot of those discussions.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, obviously...
Like police and new journalism, and, these are all things that kind of control, like, society,
Yeah. Hays Code, obviously, huge during this time. And so you had to have characters that do bad things be punished at the end.
Right.
And so maybe that's also kind of like it strings through all of these, too.
And just like forced subversion.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of, because of the Hays Code, they have to sneak their ideas in a lot of ways. And I think genre allows for that because the story is like giving freedom to kind of play with certain ideas. Yeah. Versus just like, I don't know. Actually.
Yeah. Because I'm just trying to think of like a positive film noir where it kind of ends like a, whoa, like,
I
we
feel
made
like
it.
That's kind of the mood of that time, right? Because they're basically in war or post Great Depression. Yeah. So optimism is pretty low. I mean, on the flip side of this, Wizard of Oz is like out at the same time as these films, or like a roughly same decade. So like I feel like you get two reactions during this time period of like, we need escapism films, and then we need films that like directly address how we're feeling. And I think both of these things live at the same time. And so when you look at noir, I think it's like expressing a certain thing that some people in society at that time were feeling, which was like nihilistic and like depressing. Yeah. So I feel like it's the point of the genre to almost feel that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels like it's part of it.
Yeah. And I would almost argue a happy film noir is a screwball. Right? Because a screwball is somewhat of the same things, like journalism, femme fatale kind of character.
Goofy.
Just more goofy. And then that kind of like romantic pulling at each other. It's like basically the same thing, It's just like happier and funnier.
Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, I know you kind of mentioned that earlier, but really thinking about it, that is very strange. But I'm down. I'm down to connect that. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. So yeah, I guess Notorious, I was just reading up on it. Notorious is like one of the few, there's like a handful of Hitchcock films that are unanimously agreed upon as like noir.
Yeah.
But I think remembering, because we watched this a while ago, remembering when I saw these films, I noticed that Notorious was like less visually like stark as the other films, like Third Man, Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is expressionist.
Yeah.
Like this
very,
is very,
clearly.
very, drawing inspiration from that thing. Whereas Notorious, it like feels like it's peeled back a little bit. It's not playing with the lighting as hard. It's more like camera oriented. Like there were certain like the rotating shot and then like the thing coming down from the top of the stair balcony into the hand, like close-ups on the hand.
Yeah.
Like there's just certain things where you're like, how the fuck is he doing that?
Yeah.
Which I found really interesting. I really like Notorious.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite out of the bunch just because I've seen Sunset so much.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I thought like it was doing it differently, I guess. Yeah. Just like from a production standpoint. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cary Grant. Great.
Cary Grant is great. Yeah. Talk about the king of screwball.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he's in here, and he does it really well. Lands it perfectly. Yeah. And it's great to just see these actors in the
like different roles.
Yeah, in the different roles and being in films that are helmed by like the masters.
Oh, like
too.
the great.
Yeah. What does it mean to have Cary Grant and Alfred Hitchcock? And I know there's probably other Alfred Hitchcocks that I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, North by Northwest.
Yeah, duh.
Of course. What the hell? I'm so stupid. Yeah, a little bit older.
Right.
Cary Grant, which I like. But yeah, no, it's nice. It once again, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this, so it's hard for me to pick some of the things. But yeah, no, I liked the political thriller aspect of it. I thought there were some really good moments of suspense, especially when they're down in like the basement and kind of this mystery. And I definitely actually
like forget the story completely.
Yeah, I mean, more than all of the other ones, this one felt like it actually had a mystery. I mean, I guess the Maltese Falcon definitely had me being like, what the hell is happening? But I also feel like that movie didn't care too much about what was happening in some ways.
Yeah. It was just like the characters.
Exactly. And I think that's what people talk about a lot of times with Maltese Falcon is that, what's the word they use for what the Maltese Falcon is? Like it's an object that is, I'll have to look it up, but
MacGuffin.
Yeah, it's a MacGuffin. That's
it
not really what it's about.
Right.
And Alfred Hitchcock is a little different. Like objects matter. It feels like in Alfred Hitchcock movies a lot of times.
Well, he did the MacGuffin in
which one?
In Psycho.
What's the MacGuffin in Psycho?
The money. Right. Like there's something with the money, and then she has to do something, and then she like runs away and then goes to the hotel and then she gets murdered.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, wow, that plot point like actually didn't matter at all.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, she just kind of stumbled into a different movie.
Yeah, exactly.
All of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's now I'm going to get murdered now.
Yeah, like killing off the main character. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, so.
But yes, MacGuffin.
Yeah. This one felt like it had a lot of really good suspense that kind of just. I was like, what is like still like trying to figure out like what is exactly going on with the wine bottles? I think it was wine or brandy or something like that. And everything. And very interesting. I liked all the acting. I liked the directing and all that jazz.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about that one next. I mean, we're talking about it.
Yes.
Yeah, Maltese Falcon was interesting. I mean, I love Humphrey Bogart. He's great. I didn't really vibe with this one as much.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch. I still haven't. There's a lot of Humphrey Bogarts that I really want to watch Sabrina, Billy Wilder film that puts Humphrey Bogart in kind of a different role.
Sure.
Because man, it just feels like Humphrey Bogart's
he's just
doing his
dialing it in. Yeah,
he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
No joking around.
Right.
I mean, it just like it has that kind of. That dialogue that is
sharp,
is super film noir. Yep, it's like daggers. It has like
Peter Lorre.
Yeah, Peter Lorre, he's back. He don't stop. And then it's funny, Casablanca has so many cast members from this movie.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, even the
larger guy.
Sidney Greenstreet.
Yes, yeah. Like he's in it too. It's just like, oh my God, these guys.
They just work together.
They work together.
Yeah,
they all have a look and they play a certain role.
Right.
In that, which is funny.
Totally.
Yeah, Peter Lorre. I mean, he's... the beginning of film noir is M. And he is a huge part of that.
Yeah,
looks very different in M than he does in these. Like he's definitely more emphasized in some of these later movies as being very gaunt,
right,
and small.
Right,
where M,
like they play up his kind of caricature.
Yeah. M, it just felt like he was more bulky and like head was kind of like down and always, maybe just because he was always bundled up. Yeah. But there was just something, he just looked so different.
For sure.
In that. But very interesting. Just a great guy.
Yeah, definitely highlights the point of like the character archetypes and how like within the genre, because there's like a finite like structure of who the characters are and how they operate within the film, it like offered this ability for character actors to kind of like have jobs, because they just like fit this role that is always going to be there in every story, what I mean? So yeah. A Bay Area movie.
You're right. That's
based in San Francisco.
I love when we just stumble onto that. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Because they have the shot with the bridge.
Yeah, it's literally the Bay Bridge, right?
Yeah.
It's literally outside of his office.
Yeah. It's great.
It was great. And then there's like a couple scenes where it's like they're mentioning where streets are and like the corners of places, and like that guy, when he gets shot, his partner rolls down a hill that does not exist anymore. That has completely been developed. But it's just really funny, like how times have changed and like so I just wish I could go back in time to this San Francisco. Yeah. And stuff like that. It's just so different now.
Yeah. At the Oakland Museum, they have like a lot of stuff like in the natural wildlife museum. They have like pictures of Oakland like in the 1800s.
Isn't it crazy?
And it's insane.
Yeah, it was called Oakland
because they had oak trees everywhere. And by the 1850s, all of them are gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. We're not even in modern society at that point.
Isn't that so crazy? Yeah, those photos of really early and drawings and stuff of early Oakland are...
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Are, remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some really great old maps of even like Alameda before they were like...
Before Alameda existed.
Yeah, before it existed. Like, it's just... Those things
the marshland and everything,
Like really old maps of the Bay Area are very interesting and how things have changed. Yeah. Like it's so...
like I wish I could look at the horizon and see trees.
Yeah.
That'd just be a nice feeling.
Oh, wouldn't that just... Yeah. and especially thinking about San Francisco in like the 1800s and like how it was like, it was kind of like spotted, like there were hills that you could see the hills.
Right.
It's
dirt roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was still some of that even like when this... like where the person falls down the hill, I bet it was a hill. It
wasn't totally developed.
Yeah, it wasn't totally developed.
Even in this time.
Yeah, there were parts of the city that weren't developed, and you just would not see that now. We live in like the ultra urbanized Bay Area.
Yeah, Silicon Valley.
Oh my God, so much money here.
Ruined everything.
It just poisoned it. But we have movies, so at least we can see it in movies.
Yeah. Shout out Netflix.
I want to say...
Just kidding. Don't shut up.
Not sponsored. I want to say that Humphrey Bogart is like... And his character is so interesting because it's so unlikable. Uh-huh. And like, especially with like his partner dies and he immediately is like...
On to the next thing. Yeah.
No big deal. Let's move on. I'm just like, so weird.
Yeah.
And I basically had to kind of like turn my lizard brain on for this one and just kind of like appreciate just as the movie as it hit me.
Sure.
You know, versus like trying to like analyze all of these things.
Trying to fit into it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I really I liked the drive.
Yeah.
And I liked how it was kind of doing it and really doing a good job of just doing film noir. And I think it is like the epitome of film noir, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Double Indemnity being the other one that's like considered like the film noir of all time.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. This one comes out before.
It comes out a few years before. Yeah. No, there was this one very clearly started.
it feels like, yeah, I get what you mean. Like, this is so obviously film noir, but it's weird that like Double Indemnity gets like cited as the one that starts the genre.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
like-
Billy Wilder just comes in and he just kind of takes all the air out of the room because he's good.
Yeah. Well, that's where I feel like how I feel with Maltese Falcon is like it's doing the job, but it's not like excelling or like pushing.
Yeah,
the
what's it
form.
trying to say even?
Yeah,
like it feels,
even that too.
It feels very
Like
flat, I guess.
Totally. Surface level.
Yeah, surface level. There was no, like, there really wasn't a lot of like
the gears are in place and they're turning.
Yeah.
But it's not like
we're watching the Rube Goldberg
changing.
machine, basically, of like this thing, marble going up here and then falling down here and activating this and moving this here.
Right.
There's a lot of that in Maltese Falcon. Where like, Double Indemnity, you realize what this genre is capable of.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's kind of what it's like, whoa, it can really go there.
It's pushing it in a lot of ways. Like I think with the characters and the visual design specifically, like it's really taking the time to like extort what the limits of these things, like specifically the lighting, like the contrast.
And we're talking about Double Indemnity.
Yeah. Is like really strong.
Yeah.
In
There's
this
so
film.
much darkness.
Yeah,
in
like
it.
and the blacks are like black.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a gray kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you can really see the sharp contrast in the way it's captured.
Yeah.
And then the characters too are like bumbly and like making mistakes and then retracting their thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what's happening? Like you can never really predict where someone's going to go with their thing and like what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
Cuz I feel like I didn't really enjoy it too much when I was watching it, but thinking back on it now, like the film evolves multiple times. I want to say, like in terms of the story and like the directions it's going.
Something I really liked about Double Indemnity was that it got the love interest situation out of the way really fast.
Sure,
like it basically like we hit fast forward on these two kind of like falling for each other and like and even like I wasn't fully on board even with our lead guy like really
being that
like I didn't really get like falling head over heels, like it didn't, but as soon as we got past that, it now is like, okay, this is the movie now,
right?
And there's no he glued the characters together really fast,
right?
And then
got to the point.
A huge part of the movie is them stuck together, trying to tear it apart,
right?
Which I appreciated. I was like, okay, if they, at least they didn't waste a lot of time on something that maybe I didn't really fully get behind,
right?
Like let's just get it out of the way because now we're in the movie,
right? Like the real point is like this conflict, between them and like will they, won't they? Like is this worth it to both of them? Like trying to figure out this whole deal and stuff.
Yes,
yeah, and it is great, like suspense and everything. Yeah, just like the insurance thing, I thought that was really creative.
It's and it just like you look at it now, and it's like duh, but back then, I mean, that's like
a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's
like when does insurance come about?
That's a good question. I actually have a great. Oh no, I'm thinking about my book called Debt. Or the history of debt, which is something different, and that goes through like that sort of thing. But no, I'm not sure. But obviously, the 50s. Oh, I mean, wow! Double Indemnity came out in 1944. That became a huge industry for sure in America around this time, and out like because think about insurance sales and salesmen were such like feels like the backbone of like suburban middle class success,
right?
Out of the war,
cars and house,
exactly like
life.
Selling, exactly like, and you're buying all these things now. We're obsessed with buying things now, so you have to have it insured. It became a really serious business,
right? Coincides with credit.
Yeah, true.
I feel like
maybe at least in this context, a relatively new thing that at least what an insurance salesman is,
right?
And what kind of character, like I certainly can't name another character in film that's an insurance salesman.
Right.
That, not to say there isn't one, but at least
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, none that come off the top is like, and even since I have a really hard time. Yeah.
Like today.
Oh, even today. Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a great character thing that you can play with, like instances of life and death. Like it's so, it's low hanging fruit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I've always found sales people to be just very interesting. I've had I've had friends, plenty of friends that have been in sales, and it creates. And I guess it's just like capitalism in general, but the people that are very successful, you have to have a certain kind of drive personality, and I mean that's just perfect for a movie. Is like this person that is that is really good at putting his foot on the gas and can keep things moving and knows how to do it.
Sure.
And,
Another way of critiquing American society through its like institutions and stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Insurance is great for that.
Yeah.
It's great for that because it's so flawed
in
so many ways. And so
innately.
Yeah. It's great, but it is, it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fred McMurray.
Who's also in the apartment.
Yep.
Who's also named or also has the name... What's it called again? There is a character name that's like the same. Oh, fuck.
Oh, you're thinking about the same character in Chinatown?
No, in the apartment.
Oh.
He has... Okay, wait. Let me get my footing.
All right, figure it out.
Yeah, in the apartment. He's in the apartment and his name is...
Jeff Sheldrake.
Mr. Sheldrake.
Yeah.
Is
that Sunset Boulevard?
Someone was mentioned in this movie as Sheldrake, I think.
Yeah, I felt like there was some connection. I know what you mean.
I don't think it was the same character name, but there was a person, someone mentioned a Sheldrake in this film.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that in maybe another one. Maybe it's in Sunset too.
Yeah.
Or like they're including
It's funny you make that mention. Like even though I can't place it right now, I know what you mean. I heard it and I'm like, huh. Just like I've heard Joe Gillis mentioned a number of times.
Just like the same.
Yeah, it's just like they're using these same historical film character names over and over again.
Yeah, maybe there's something.
Yeah, there's definitely something to that. But yeah, Billy Wilder doing a great job with the apartment of using actors and doing something different with them. Because
it's lighter.
It's just fun. A different sort of thing, and I think that's why I really want to see Sabrina, because I'm really curious about how he works with Humphrey Bogart.
Sure, yeah. Because what else have you seen from him?
Billy Wilder.
Yeah.
Ace in the Hole. Some Like It Hot. It's been a while since I've seen Some Like It Hot, so I can't really speak on that one.
You've seen like the big ones.
I've seen the big ones. I need to see Sabrina, Witness for the Persecution, The 7-Year Itch.
Yeah, those are
kind of so that's like the top 8, and then you can go down and down the list.
Yeah, I feel like after that it's like not as good.
Yeah, but a pretty consistently good director. Like just looking at like user reviews on Letterboxd or something like that, it's always a high 3,
right?
Solid 4, this, that, and the other thing.
His top 4 are like, oh my god,
yeah. Some Like It Hot. I gotta watch that again because I'm just like, does that hold up? Do you know? The other does 3? It hold up?
It's like normally grouped in with the other 3.
Yeah,
as like his best movies. I think it holds up.
Yeah,
I think it's fun. I think the ending scene is like one of the best endings.
I do not. Don't spoil it because I need to watch it again, and I want to be surprised because I do not remember.
It's just a great ending to a comedy,
Okay.
And so Billy Wilder.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like he's making the same kind of sentiment in a lot of his movies, and in like very sharp and different ways.
Yeah.
Because like how. We kind of were talking about it earlier, but how do you feel like Sunset Boulevard compares to Double Indemnity for you? Man, that pizza is fucking kicking my ass right now. It smells so good.
Yeah, we got folks. We have a pizza in the room waiting to be eaten, and it's tough. I should have put it somewhere else.
Salivated.
Yeah, I know. So sorry if it sounds a little wet on the mic.
Yeah. We're almost done though.
We're almost done.
Yeah, we got 2 more left.
Yeah, but Sunset Boulevard. It obviously, I'm always going to be a sucker for a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, you SoCal guy.
Yeah, that's just me. It's just me. And I also it just is filled with subtext everywhere, and there's just so much in it. And because it's a Hollywood movie, it also has like a reverence for it. It's not just characters that exist in it. It's like it has a reverence for film history. Like this is, we even have like Buster Keaton is in it, and Cecil B. DeMille is in it.
Right.
Oh, and Cecil B. DeMille is the director, right? That she is trying to get a film with again, right?
So yeah. Oh yeah, he's the
one that's shooting the film,
right?
That yes, yeah, it is Cecil B. DeMille.
And then Eric von Strawheim, who plays the like house servant.
Yes,
he's like a really big director as well.
Yes, and oh my god, that twist at the end. Yeah. I'd also forgotten about that, but that this servant for Norma Desmond,
right?
One of the greatest characters in film history. Her servant or butler or whatever was her director basically, and fell in love with her in a way, not like in a sexual way, but just like she has this gravitational pull, because she is insane, literally completely out of her mind. and we know that people like this exist. Like, you insulate yourself with people all around you that will always tell you, that you are great, that you are all of these things. And he is definitely one of that. He treats her like she is
Messiah.
Yeah, exactly. In a lot of ways.
It's like how the people who worked with Kubrick, how they talk about him.
Yeah.
It's like, he was a genius. He was everything.
Yeah.
I'll do anything for him.
Yeah. Oh man, you have to imagine his pull was
insane,
crazy.
Yeah.
With just the movies, like, because he just feels like he's in like another atmosphere,
right?
In the stratosphere. It's hard to even talk about the guy.
Yeah. But she definitely plays that sort of character of like so delusional in her like stardom.
Yeah.
And it's like faded stardom too. It's like she's not even famous anymore. And him writing fan letters to her to like keep this dream alive, you know?
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And she watches her own films all the time.
Right.
And she has, and what's great is that Norma Desmond Gloria Swanson is playing a character that I imagine she's not this bad,
right,
not
right.
as crazy and psychotic, but was a silent film star that was going into this new thing. So it's filled with all of that as well.
Right.
And
like commenting on the changes in Hollywood.
Yeah. And so it had a lot of actual people that were a part of this. And so it just feels like it's just so important. It feels like a hinge point in film history almost.
Yeah.
Like it's what the artist kind of was like, did in a way of just like trying to acknowledge this kind of change. Much more sanitized, I think, in the artist, where this is like actually in it.
Right. Because it's
filled with people that were actually in it.
Right. Because it is happening in the middle of noir.
Yeah.
Or like what we understand the era of noir.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of interesting how how aware of its time period it is. Like it's almost ahead of its time in terms of like being able to reflect on the moment while it's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this wasn't made 20 years after Golden Age of Hollywood. This is almost made like immediately right after or in the thick of it, you know?
Yeah.
And to be able to have that like meta commentary while it's happening. Yeah, it's just like pretty incredible.
And I think something else, and this is something I don't necessarily have the words for, but it brought me back to that point.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like that's why it also feels like it's so good at what it does. Is I felt like I completely understand all of it.
Even though we never even lived in
even
that
close.
era.
Yeah, exactly. We have no understanding. The artist is like our contemporary like
version of
look
that
at this time period.
Yeah. Babylon.
And, yeah. So that's another, and so like it just feels like it does so. It's just filled with amazing characters, amazing writing, great ending, a lot of great things. And then it wasn't until this time, and I know this is so silly, but the fact that it's called Sunset Boulevard,
Yeah, I know.
I never put those two together. Like that it has like this kind of like sunsetting sort of thing. Like it is her. You never think about it. It's just like, oh, it's a street.
Yeah.
Duh, it's a street. It's a street. And,
Like,
but
it's real and it exists and this is LA,
yeah, it's like,
you know?
duh, like, of course.
But then, sunset on a career.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's calling it Sunset Boulevard is just a very...
And the movie starts with death.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. It has a great... And it, you know, right from the get-go what the ending is, which is a daring thing to do. And so it's always in the back of your head that, like, he's going to die. Right. Like, all from the very beginning, it's like, how do we get here? And so that also, it's that Silence of the Lambs thing. Sure. Where it's like, we're in it. The anticipation, yeah. It's like, oh, the audience knows, but the characters don't know. Right. And it feels harmless at first, but then it just, you know, when you are in the gravitational pull of someone like this, you know, there's really no getting out. Yeah, you're trapped. Yeah, and he thinks he can play his own game in it and take advantage of her. But it doesn't. It's not that. Yeah. It's not that easy. I feel like that in a very like minute way. Like whenever, like you try to rationalize taking a job. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're like, I'm just gonna do this so I can get money, so I can do what I want. Yes. And then like 2 years later, you're still at that job. Yeah. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah, like, exactly. I'm not even writing anymore. Yeah. And then you die. Yeah. Like, I definitely feel that, like, feeling of, like, I'm being the bigger person by, like, being intentional with this decision. And then the decision kind of, like, taking over, like, taking control of you and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Especially in this kind of worker sense. Yeah. Yeah. You get kind of trapped in your own misgivings and stuff. Yeah, and there's just no... she wanted so much more than a writer. Right. And then it wasn't as quid pro quo as he had intended it to be. Yeah. And he took it seriously at first. He's like throwing out pages. Right. That he's like, obviously, we're not going to include this sort of thing. Right. And then she is very quickly like, no, you'll include that. Yeah. You'll learn. And the chimpanzee funeral. Oh, yeah. So odd. Insane and weird. And it paints, and I feel like back then, like, I feel like the movie was really painting it as like, oh my God, she's crazy. Like, this is just a weird, crazy thing. But also another commentary on the entertainment industry. Yeah. 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 There's so much more to that than I think I've given a lot of time to think about. Right. Like what that means for yeah. Because it was so interesting. And that's like how it starts. It at the beginning. Right. Like once he gets there, that's like the first thing they do. Yeah. And he's like watching them like bury the chimpanzee and stuff like that. And then there's like an open casket for it and everything. And that's what it's just such an interesting, that's how it pulled him in, was that moment. Right. And it's kind of, maybe it's almost like he's replacing the chimp in a way. Like, because that was probably her only really attachment and friend. Yeah. And then and also kind of like foreshadows his role in her life. Yeah. In terms of like dance monkey dance. Yeah, sort of exactly. Thing. Yeah. 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 And you will do everything I say, and you will be attached at my hip, and you will be happy doing it. Yeah. And we're going to go to parties together and all of these things, but it's just it's just parties for the two of us. Yeah. The New Year's party. Crazy. That was just like, and for her it's nothing. It's just like, but you can just tell that was like the moment he was like, whoa. Like, you're crazy. Yeah, there's something serious. If she commits suicide during that scene. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're right. With the band still there. Yeah. Yeah, suicide being a Billy Wilder staple. Like, willing to all go. All three. Yeah. Yeah, there's just something about it's very powerful to go to that point. Sure. And it says so much, and it just doesn't feel like movies were really, really willing to go there. It feels like something the Hays Code just would not have wanted at all. Right. Which is interesting. Well, I think he does it in a way that is like light, and it's like saying something about our humanity, I feel like. And when he chooses to include all of these things, I feel like it's always showing how like these social structures are pushing people to their brink in a way. Yeah. Especially because like I think of it in terms of the apartment and how like, it feels like they have no other choice in a way. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, and there's something about like you can kind of spin it as like saving someone as well. Like there is you can turn it into a positive a little bit, like which the apartment does. Like it goes there. It's like how do we get out of this hole and feel good again?
Right.
And they do it. Like we are able to kind of like put the pieces back together. In a new
it feels really
way.
nice. At the end.
It feels earned.
Right.
And it does here too.
Yeah, the ending. I think I in a previous review I had mentioned. I think the best ending ever in cinema history.
Yeah.
Like that is one of the greatest scenes. Like
it's so good.
It's crazy. Her walking down the staircase. Yeah. It's like unbelievable.
And it's she has now finally gone insane. And and everyone around knows it.
Right.
And it's just not
complete admittance to delusion.
Yeah. And that's something that's just that's a perfect ending for that. It's just there's no going back. Oh my God. So good.
Fuck.
All right. Last one.
Yeah. I feel like it's appropriate to end on the third man.
Yeah.
Because this felt like the most film noir.
Yes.
And really good film noir.
The blackest blacks.
Yeah.
I feel like it just is so the imagery. I think that people always point to like the sewer scene as being just like an amazing use of shadows and shapes and even just probably I'd be very curious how many sets or sewers that they actually use.
Sure.
Because you just have to move the camera around a little bit and
it's a new thing.
And it's so great. And it's just like, it's so Scooby-Doo in a way, that whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's...
the chase scenes and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. And even before Orson Welles gets in there, but once Orson Welles steps in, and then we kind of see like actually what these characters are thinking. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, there's just like that mystery from the get-go that there's something just a little strange.
Right.
There's just a little like a
breadcrumb.
A breadcrumb or like
stitch.
Yeah, exactly. Like your stitch is just a little, and you're just pulling on it. It's like just another thing.
Yeah.
It does
That's
a great job of
because it's not giving away too much. It's not over explaining, but because this guy is like coming into town to help do something. I forget exactly. Solve some murder or whatever.
Yeah, Holly Martin's a writer of pulp westerns, arrives penniless as a guest of his childhood chum Harry Lime, only to learn he has died.
Right. And so all the discrepancies between the information that he's getting from this person, from that person, it's like nothing's ever lining up. Yeah. And you're just expected to leave town.
Exactly. Can you imagine you get in there and
like, what?
Wait, what happened? And then you're starting to getting conflicting stories and people just be like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know? It's all these things and everything. But
also important to note that this is like middle of war and there's so many different parties being involved, like the Russians, the Germans, the Americans, like, or the Western forces or whatever. Yeah. Like it's like a martial sort of living space where people are on edge like all the time.
Yeah. Very Casablanca in that way of just like, we have all of these things and there's like so many people are vying for power.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons people are doing what they're doing.
And the region is just volatile with like political agenda and like people snaking each other and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great political film.
Yeah.
And the third man, the title referring to that kind of like thread that we were kind of talking about of like that they're told like two people took his friend off the street.
Yeah.
But then there's word that there was a third person with them that was walking around and alive.
Right.
Which is just like, oh my God, like just to hear that is just, it's just great.
Oh man, what was I just watched a movie that had something like this. Keep going.
Yeah, while you're thinking about that, an interesting thing on Letterboxd, they always have like what the tagline is for the film. This one is hunted by men, sought by women.
So weird.
I don't understand what the hell
like
that
what
means.
that means. Yeah,
that's interesting. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
The film I was thinking of was Minority Report.
Oh yeah, I saw you saw that recently.
Yeah.
And what's your what's the connective tissue that you're seeing?
So basically he commits this murder, right? Or there's like this memory, the vision of him committing this murder, and then they're trying to figure out like all the people that were in the room.
Oh yeah.
And so there's like another woman, there's the guy that he kills, but then there's like a reflection of a third person. They're always trying to like figure that out or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Steven Spielberg, right?
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. And you know he's definitely film historical.
Yeah, he knows.
And he's a film understander.
Yeah, he's a cinema freak.
Yeah. So I have no doubt that Third Man and Minority Report probably have a lot in common.
Sure, yeah. Definitely has a noir
feeling.
Oh,
Minority Report has a great premise.
I love that movie.
That premise is so good. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh. It's so modern. Like it speaks to our today. Just like surveillance and crime and like.
Yeah, that's very early surveillance kind of films.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot more surveillance film.
Yeah. Well,
like it just feels like something that needs to be talked about more. And we need more ways to interpret it and understand it. It's just like, because I think it melts us a lot more than we think about.
Sure.
And Third Man has that kind of surveillance thing too, of just like there are eyes. People
everywhere.
saw this thing happen,
right? But no one's saying anything.
Yeah, no one's saying anything. And so there's something. What if you couldn't get the information out of a Ring camera?
Right.
Like the Ring camera sees this thing, but
you can't.
There's something interesting. That'd be an interesting little way to take it. Is what if the robots don't want you to know?
Right.
You know,
like they're trying to hide it.
Yeah. There's something kind of interesting. Yeah.
Like iRobot.
Yeah. I need to watch that one again. Because there is the robots are kind of conspiring. Yeah.
Because the AI.
But no one thinks, why would a robot conspire? Sort of things
Because in that film they create the like kind of like Gremlins. You know, they set up these rules of like this is what a AI robot is. So everyone believes that this is like the truth. And so no one can ever like visualize like one of these robots being evil or doing something bad against humans, but it's like the mind controlling the thing. Yeah. It's like it's a really good mystery, like neo-noir kind of setup. Yeah, and Criterion has a surveillance.
I saw that. Yeah, that's happening.
Yeah, that's where I saw Minority Report, and then I saw Gattaca.
Oh, I want to watch Gattaca.
Because the last time I saw that was in biology in like ninth grade. So like I have this like idea of what it is, and I rewatched it. It's like amazing. Movie. The lighting is great. The characters are great.
I think 12 Monkeys was in the surveillance thing. I think that's where I saw it as well. Yeah, nice. That definitely has a very surveillance thing going on too. Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think it's definitely in terms of today and like with Google and like Siri and all these things listening to us, like it is a very good like low hanging fruit. Yeah, in terms
a lot can be done with it.
Yeah, for sure. Like so the suspense and like trust. Can you really say this is what they are?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing too, and I think Minority Report does a little bit of that too. Of like. Is this memory right?
Right.
Because
you can trick it.
Yeah.
That's like a big point with the Don Sutherland character.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. Because there's a bit of trickery in today, I feel like, in terms of like...
Oh, you can spin it. I think, especially when it comes to like cell towers and things like when you're like really trying to pinpoint, there's so much that isn't an exact science. And now we're on the verge of AI videos and like at a certain, like it's going to be really hard. And like the dead internet theory and all of these things where it's like it feels like there is a conscious effort to fill everything with crap,
right?
So that we don't trust anything. Like it definitely feels like we're trending in that way, whether purposeful or not. I think I think there's definitely reasons why these people would like us to not trust social media and not trust our own eyes.
Right.
And we're having to do that. Like I have to try. And now we're basically past the, like, how many fingers does this AI image have? Like it's smarter than that now. And it's getting really difficult to tell the difference.
Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah, that's a really crazy thing is like, what if you faked everything? Like, you know, like all the evidence was faked. Like, how far could that go? Like someone that like, what if someone killed someone and then they were just really good with AI? I mean, they could make
just
enough
make up a whole thing
evidence. Yeah. Like there's some really great like found footage AI stuff. Like you can create so many like lo-fi material.
This sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just waiting to be made. And I hope
someone can put the pieces together, because I don't know if I'd be the one to like explore that topic. Yeah. But it does make a lot of sense in my brain. Yeah. You know, like combining like the technology that we have today with like the idea of filmmaking, like of creating a narrative, you know, and then like trying to deconstruct, like kind of reflecting back on what we were saying about noir and like how it's critiquing social institutions. Like there's so many new institutions that we have today that like have not been critiqued or have been very like surface level critiqued, you know, and can really, there's so much room that we can apply to this beyond just like, oh, it's destroying our psychology or it's like ruining relationships. Like I feel like there's so much more that we can like put into this. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think people like hear that and it's like, oh yeah. Duh. But like, I think people don't get it yet. Yeah. And I think there's that.
The severity.
Yeah. Like we are like, it's falling apart, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before our eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you say about me last time we talked?
You're like, a nihilist.
Yeah. I'm just looking. It doesn't look good. I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
But man, it doesn't look good.
It's funny. Yeah. Cause you have this underlying of like, everything's going to shit. Everything's going to shit.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think everything does kind of trend downward when you look at our society today.
Yeah. I love though I'll call it psychotic kind of like this kind of like America.
The absurdism.
Yeah. Like there is like this, there's something so interesting about that. Yeah. And so I love when we get a pull on that a little bit of just like this love of like Nashville and like these sorts of things. And like, and I think Nashville just does a great job of like lampooning this sort of thing.
A lot of those things. Yeah. Well, I definitely am attracted because I like noir in the way it's communicating national like narratives. Yeah. I like the idea of like the post Great Depression and like it being during the war and stuff. I think like, I just like how we choose to express ourselves, I guess, as a country, you know? Yeah. And there's so much into that. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Folk movies.
Yeah. God, movies are great.
Yeah, movies are awesome.
I like movies. Sue me.
Yeah.
Sue me. You know? Hot take.
Yeah, I had a horoscope.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, that was just funny. It like related to.
What's your sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Cancer, okay. Yeah. I'm Aquarius for anyone that's curious.
Oh, nice. A curious
Aquarius.
A curious Aquarius.
Cruise.
Let me just find it real quick.
Yeah.
But it felt to me like very filmmaky. It was like, you prefer the genuine article. A carefully constructed image is all the more fascinating when you discover how and why it was made.
Yes.
If this line of inquiry makes others nervous, too bad for them.
Ooh, I love that. There is, as I've gotten older, there's definitely we only have so much time.
Yeah.
You know, like if like there's no point in wasting it on people that don't want to buy into it.
Right.
Or don't want like it, you know,
like just enjoy.
Exactly. Like you're putting these things out there and what's kind of pulling in.
Yeah.
I do love that idea of just like understanding like what goes into these things. Yeah. I mean, that's right up your alley.
What we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. For
it's
sure.
My favorite thing is to kind of deconstruct these things.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how I feel with movies and like understanding these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's or movies are made by humans and humans are flawed, hypocritical, and absolutely insane, complex creatures. Yeah. And so it's ripe for discussion and for understanding. And there's just so much to learn, and I'm excited. This is episode 40, I think, on our thing, and dang, I'm looking forward to the next 40 for sure.
Yeah. This next year will be interesting because we have like a year behind us.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it'll be cool. I feel like there's so much potential for like what we can do with all of these things. Yeah,
I agree.
Because it feels like we're dialing. Like this episode felt really smooth.
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah.
And we're just getting smarter.
Yeah, we're just learning. Like we're just getting started.
Like, can you like my brain is so damn big right now.
Yeah.
You guys, it's blowing through. It's seeping out my ears.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to like part 2 of like a lot of these episodes.
I know, all of them deserve a part 2. I can't wait to do. I think you mentioned stoner noir.
Oh,
but I love that idea. I love neo noir just in general. I love like a sci-fi noir, Blade Runner-esque and everything.
Sure.
I think, and maybe even iRobot. Minority Report.
Everything we mentioned.
Exactly.
Gattaca.
Yep. Well, there you go. Already got 4.
Yeah. Putting that in the list.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, there's so much there. Like all these episodes need to be done twice.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting.
Yeah, it's great. Okay.
Well, there you go.
We'll call it.
Yeah, that's Film Noir.
That's a wrap.
That is a wrap. Bye bye.
Bye. Wind Reel in Print is a podcast by Salad Brain Productions. You can find us on Instagram at Wind Reel in Print Pod. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts. And please, if you like the show, leave a rating and review. We'll see you next time.